right, welcome to day 3 VMware Explore 2024 Las Vegas. It has been a week chock full of announcements, customer conversations, hands-on labs, sessions. It's been a great week. John, how you feeling?
It's good. The customer energy has been fun, like having some great conversations, starting with kind of initially the why of some of the changes, but also that we're getting down to the how. Like, how are we going to implement this? Where are we going with this? I think people are seeing the vision, but it's also good to hear from, not just bottom, but the top of, what's going on, where the change is going.
Absolutely. And on that note, we're going to bring on our boss, head of the VMware Cloud Foundation division, Krish Prasad. Krish, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you all.
So top of mind, real quick, how has your week been so far?
Yeah, a very busy week, but a lot of excitement. A lot of customers are here, highly resonating with the VCF story. Yeah. Customers want to know when they can get their hands on VCF 9.
Yeah.
I've been getting that question a lot, and I've been saying, hey, I cannot legally speak about the exact timing, but it's coming soon.
It's so funny. I just finished the session, and one of the first questions I got was like, because I had a bunch of 5.2 slides, because we were talking about something that was in 5.2, and right away they were like, that's really good. When can we get 9?
Yes.
Like, okay. Exactly. It's coming.
Exactly.
It's coming Tuesday. Of what week? I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't answer that.
Which year, which week, we don't know. Yes.
So I saw you in the keynote, and you were talking about a smarter way to cloud.
Yes.
And I'd love to hear your perspective on how does that change happen internally and also externally with products.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big transformation that we had to do first because VMware, as you know, was organized as silos, different business units. We had like 10 GMs. And so, I was telling a customer this morning, a couple of years ago, if we were having a discussion on VCF, we would have like 7 GMs in the room. Right, and then the customer has to ask each of us about.
It's a funny vision.
It's a unified product, but I have 5 sales teams and they're meeting with me about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the GMs will, if they ask for a feature, then it'll come to one GM. Then the GM will say, but it has a dependency on this person. I know it was kind of ugly, but so one of the things that we were able to do during the acquisition was to really get away from that structure and collapse all the product teams into one product team, and then set the vision for delivering a VCF platform. And that's what I run now in the VCF division. So that was the biggest transformation we had to go through to set ourselves up for success. Now we can deliver a platform, and then the customers have to go through their transformation because they are organized as silos within their own IT organizations. And our platform will give them a chance to really get away from the silos, tie it all together with a platform approach, and then really provide the AWS type experience for their private infrastructure. That's what all the CIOs are striving to do. Is the public clouds have set the experience standard that developers like, and what we are going to give them as a platform that they can use to provide that experience with their own infrastructure.
So obviously we had to transform first, then we're going to, ship this transformed product.
Yes.
What are we doing to help the customer through that adoption journey? Of moving from their existing piece feel, maybe best of breed, perceived, procurement to this unified platform.
Yeah. In fact, the customers have been buying, different individual products from us to tie into their siloed approach in the past. And part of the reason why we were organized as silos was to support the customer being siloed, right? And so now we have customers with certain siloed products that we need to, like you said, take them in on the journey to a full cloud platform and a cloud operating model. And so what we have done as part of our roadmap is really focus on that problem, and we call it, brownfield import. So you can take all the combination of situations that are out there and easily bring them over in under the umbrella of VCF 9. So that's a big feature that's coming out in VCF 9.
No, that is something. I've had several customers who previously, they always said, well, I'm not refreshing all of my infrastructure at the same time. I'm not refreshing all of my stacks. And they didn't even consider VCF. And now I'm having customers saying, okay, how do I get the compute in? Or how do I get this part in? And this is resonating. So
Yeah,
How do I take
and then-
advantage of lifecycle management?
I just give me the lifecycle management or some certain
Yeah,
management.
exactly.
Give
So
me
they
some
don't have
easy
to
wins.
refresh their hardware at all. I mean, they can take the current hardware with the current products, and we have an easy way to import that into the VCF structure, and that's huge for the customers because in the past they had to buy new hardware, new greenfield, and that takes a lot of time and money and whatnot. So
And as you know, that brownfield import has been a word used very frequently for the past couple of years. Just like, when can we get this? And it's so exciting to see that VCF import is now actually on the truck.
yes,
I think I've had customers asking for the better part of a decade that I've talked to. So
yes.
it's
So
gonna
in
be-
fact, it is. We just had a release called 5.2
Right.
of VCF. So the first leg of VCF import is in 5.2, and then we'll complete that. Add more functionality going into 9.
So on the management side, once the customers start adopting VCF,
Yep.
what is the management experience? How are we unifying that? What is that? I know management's an area you've worked in a long time. So
Yeah. So my one of my first jobs in VMware was in the management business unit, and so what we are doing is we want, when management was a separate product that we used to sell, and I used to run part of it long time ago. We had to be neutral because we could sell management on top of AWS, we could sell management on top of VCF, and so it was not tied into VCF.
But also on the compute and the storage side, my side of the house, we had to be neutral and assume it wasn't there also.
Yes.
And they might be using something else.
Yeah,
it was a very
exactly.
you couldn't engineer with the
Yeah,
assumption of it.
So
the
now
existence.
it's going to be built in. Their main purpose in life is to support VCF, and it'll be flavored as VCF. It'll have all the features and functions that VCF has exposed through the management console. Because customers used to ask, "Hey, how come, the operations product doesn't have unique ways to troubleshoot VCF?" Oh, that because that is left as an exercise to the customer because it's a general product.
I've had this cynical theory of management tools for a long time from my
Yes.
history in ops, that tools either come in one of two flavors. They either can manage everything but do nothing out of the box.
Yes.
They're endlessly extensible,
Yes,
assuming you have a PhD in the tooling.
exactly. Yes.
Or they come out of the box, they're focused,
Yes.
but they come out of the box ready to deliver value.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the second part is what we are doing now, which is, hey, it is going to be very opinionated. It'll be about VCF, and that's all we care about. And it will be about VCF troubleshooting, VCF monitoring, and so on. So that's what they will get in Nino.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you mentioned in your keynote that there are 3 key transformations, and so
Yeah. So the first one was the what we went through ourselves in setting up the division. The second one is really the customer experience. So both 2 and 3 are on the customer side. So when you deploy a private cloud platform, there are 2 aspects to it. What is their developer experience, and then what is their operating experience? Right. Those are 2 sides of the same coin, right? And then so we want to transform both of those. Those are the 3. And on the developer side, we have a plethora of services, infrastructure as a service with Kubernetes, with VMs and containers support out of the box. So that's it will be a very modern infrastructure as a service API that the customers can use, including catalogs and all the rest. And then on the operating side, with the operations management and automation, it'll be fully automated, fleet level automation across the board. So customers who have hundreds of thousands of servers can do fleet automation. So they, start the life cycle and it'll keep going. And
Yeah.
This is a great story because I've seen a lot of developer and cloud management type platforms in the past that could do a lot of cool things for developers and help with their life cycle and issues. But the back end, the infrastructure SREs were crying for the complexity. We're just trying to keep that system secure and revved.
Yes.
And it looks like we're trying to give both a positive experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the value and the total cost of ownership has a lot to do with the back end side of it, right? And the front end is all about experience to the developer.
Yeah, it's great if we give jetpacks to developers, but someone needs to make sure that they don't fly into the windows.
And there's the ROI for buying the VCA product, and that's all tied up in the automation and how much we can automate in the back end. So so it's it's something that is resonating well with customers. And we have huge customers who are deploying VCF now.
Yeah.
Right? Some of the largest banks in the world, with they are like building data centers like crazy, right? I mean, they because they are running out of capacity, and they in different countries and all of that, and so VCF really can scale,
Yeah.
across the globe with literally
Global
like
scale of management, but also better consolidation ratios. So anything,
50,000 to
we're
100,000
running out of
type
power
big
everywhere.
farms of servers that we can run on. So it's
That was going to be my last question for you. I'd love to close out. I know you've been talking to customers all week. I'm curious, like, have you detected some sort of theme? Is there anything that stands out from you about the conversation you've had this week?
Yeah, it's actually very interesting because it's our message on VCF 9 is resonating very well with customers, and even some of the customers who are that I would consider to be not a candidate for cloud deployment, they are smaller,
Sure.
and so on, have been asking us how can we get to VCF. So it really has touched a positive nerve with our customers, and they are eager to find out more about it and find out how we can deploy it.
Oh, I can help them with that. Absolutely. Krish, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Explore.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.